This conference
Trainer
will
for
now be recorded.
so I'll be your trainer for today's demo part, and also I'll be your trainer for your entire course. So before we understand, so what is the Salesforce? What is the Salesforce CRM? So what is actually the Salesforce? What we do in the Salesforce in the real time? So first of all, we need to understand. So what is the cloud computing means? So cloud computing. So what is a cloud computing? So let me write it down on the notepad. Cloud computing. So here, so when you see the cloud computing, so here there are two different terminologies. So one is a cloud and one is a computing. So cloud is nothing but a internet. Cloud is nothing but an internet. And the computing is nothing but any hardware or any software requirement. Any hardware or any software requirement is nothing but your computing. So now combining these two words, so the cloud is nothing but internet and computing is nothing but a hardware or a software requirement. So now here we the customers, or I can say we the users, are partners or the clients to the companies. So if any company, if they have the company has their own software, or if the company has their own hardware, they host their hardware or the software onto the cloud, onto the internet. So once the company has hosted their hardware or software onto the cloud, and we, the customers or the clients or users, we access so the company's software or company's hardware through the concept called internet, and which is called the cloud. So now on your browser, on your mobile or a tab, so you might be using lot of softwares or applications, I can say, like the Gmail, YouTube, Twitter, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and there are some hundreds of thousands of applications. And all these applications works and runs only if you have a internet connection. And if you have internet connection to your device, and only then you will be getting the latest notifications or the latest updates. And if there is no internet connection, so obviously you cannot access, of course you can access, but you cannot get the latest notifications or the updates. So which means all these are the different applications of the softwares, so which is hosted onto the cloud, and we are accessing these applications or the softwares from the cloud, from the internet. So which is called together is cloud computing. So now looking back to your definition of the cloud computing, cloud computing is nothing but the delivery of the computing. So delivery means so delivery of the hardware or a software requirement as a service but not as a product. So as a service but not as a product. So what do you mean by as a service but not as a product? So let's take an example. So now let's suppose I'm accessing Microsoft. What is my OS? Microsoft Windows 7. Okay. So now I'm currently accessing the Microsoft Windows 7. I want to upgrade it to the latest version of operating system. Let it be Microsoft Windows 10. So when I want to upgrade to the latest version, so I have two ways where I can get it upgraded. One is through service, one is through product. Service. So what do you mean by service means? So I can go to the Microsoft website www.microsoft.com and have to search for the latest operating system. Let's suppose Windows 10. And once I search for the latest operating system, so I have to buy the operating system by paying X number of dollars. So by paying X number of dollars to the Microsoft company, so through the payment gateway, and once the payment is successful, I'll be getting the downloadable file. So download the software or application onto my local machine and get it upgraded. So this is for this entire process, like how I'm accessing the Microsoft website, like how I'm doing the payment to the company, like how I'm getting the downloadable file. For this entire process, the internet is involved, the cloud is involved. So I'm getting one of the service from the Microsoft company, and the service is a software, an application. So which is called this process, we call it as a cloud computing. So whatever the companies, if they deliver their company's hardware or their company's software through the internet, is nothing but a cloud computing, and the companies can deliver it as a service. So companies, organizations are they are doing a service to the customers, service to the end users. Okay, and I can also get it upgraded. I can also get my operating system, get it upgraded through the concept called product. Product means, so now I can go to the nearby shop, retail shop or somewhere any other shop, and I can buy the latest version of operating system. So by paying some X number of dollars to the merchant, and once I paid it, they will provide me the operating system in a CD or DVD ROM. Okay, so once I back to home and insert the DVD ROM in my machine and get it upgraded. So, but for this transaction, like how I'm buying it as a CD or DVD ROM, is the internet is involved? The internet is nowhere involved. I'm buying it as a product. So whatever the service that if you get it as a product, that you will not call it as a cloud computing, but whatever the service that you get from the cloud, through the internet, which is called a cloud computing. So the cloud computing is not something very new in the market. From the time the internet is evolved, so we have a concept called cloud computing. Okay, so now you might have read a lot of articles, you might have seen a lot of news. So where the companies or organizations, they are moving on to the cloud. So the companies are moving their data from the local server, from the internal server to onto the cloud. So companies are implementing their own cloud. So which means now each and every companies, whatever the data they have there within the internal servers, within their own internal data servers. So now they are storing everything onto the cloud so that the customers, or I can say end users, directly they can access the company's hardware or a software of the company's related hardware or software through the concept called cloud. Okay. So when I say the companies can deliver hardware or software requirement through the concept called cloud as a service, the next concept in a cloud computing. So we have the different types of cloud computing. We have different types of cloud computing. The first one is software as a service. Second one, platform as a service. The last one, hardware as a service. So cloud computing has three different types of services. So any company can deliver the hardware or a software requirement to the customers in either of these three ways: software, platform, or hardware. The software as a service, you call it as a SaaS in short, and this platform you call it as a PaaS, and this hardware you call it as a HaaS. So this software you can also call it as a application as a service. Hardware you call it as a infrastructure as a service, and platform same as it is. Okay, so now we'll understand, so what is a software, what is a platform, and what is a hardware. The next slide. So between a client and between a server, so between a company's server and between the customer, so between here we have the different types of services, which is an application, platform, or infrastructure. The first type of service, which is called the software as a service. So like the name says, so where the company can deliver the company's software, the company's application as one of the service to the customers. So if you look into this logical diagram, so where on the right hand side, so where you can see the vendor, right? So vendor has hosted the vendor company's software or application onto the World Wide Web. So which is called internet, which is called a cloud. And from the cloud, from the internet, on the left hand side, we have the clients, users, customers. So we access the company's software or company's application through the concept called a cloud. So which is called a software as a service, where the companies are providing the company's software as one of the service to the customers. And if you see the example, sorry, and if you see the examples under the software as a service is, so like the examples we have discussed, the Gmail, YouTube, Twitter, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and so many different types of applications or a software which you are using on your mobile or a tab or your browser. and these applications runs only with the internet. And the next best example here we can discuss is salesforce.com. And here comes the concept of the salesforce.com. And if you are directly started with the salesforce.com, so this is what the salesforce is, this is what we do in the real time. So you never know so where from where the salesforce has derived from. So basically in the cloud, in the internet, we have a concept called cloud computing. Cloud computing has three different types of services, and one of the services is software or application as service, and the software or application as service is nothing but your Salesforce. Salesforce is a type of your application or the software as a service. Okay, so like whatever the different applications which we have discussed, Gmail, YouTube, Twitter, WhatsApp, which works, which runs only with the internet, Salesforce.com is also one of the application or software which runs only with the internet. So which means directly, so what we can say is Salesforce.com is on the cloud. It is on the cloud. It is on the internet. Okay. So in the real time, so what we do in the Salesforce.com. So what we do in the real time, so what are different ways that we can register to the Salesforce, and that and all we'll see in the next slides. But to understand the platform, we have to understand the Salesforce.com a little bit. So what is that means? In the real time, you will actually build the apps. You will build the apps for the sales team and services teams. And also you will build your own custom applications as per the requirement. So custom applications means, so in one of my previous project I had worked on the project called healthcare. Okay, so a product based company, so which they are completely into the healthcare department. Now they want to track the hospitals, doctors, patients, nurses, who is coming in, who is going in, which doctor, what is the specialties. So all this they want to have the custom application. And also I worked on one of the project called aviation project. Okay, so what is the airline? So which airlines is going from the source to destination? Who is the pilot? Who is the passengers? And who is the air hostess? What time it has left? What time it has reached? And what is the longitude and latitude of the source and destination? So different details. So building the apps for the sales team and services team means. So let me give another example. So let's suppose I am a sales executive. I'm a sales executive who is working under the company Dell. So as you know, the Dell is a global wide company, so which they sell or they manufacture the Dell products like Dell systems, laptops, desktops, keyboards, mouses, lot many things. Okay. So now let's suppose you need a Dell system or a laptop. So now you have approached to sales center. So now you have approached to me. So I'm one of the sales executive. So now you had come up with your requirement. Your requirement is you want to purchase a Dell laptop. So once you have purchased a Dell laptop, so now you are officially a customer to my company. You are officially a customer to my company. So once you have purchased the Dell product, it's my responsibility because I'm a salesperson. It's my responsibility to create your details in my system. So your details in a sense, customer details. What is the customer name, phone number, email ID, address, how many number of products he or she purchased, what is the worth of each and every product, what is the discount, so is there any warranty or the guarantee, what is the laptop license number. So all these details I need to create something like a invoice, I can say, invoice, bill. So whenever I create a customer details, I need a platform. I need a one of the technology, or I need a one of the, I can say, any software where I can store my customers details. So that is one of your Salesforce.com. So Salesforce.com is nothing but it's a platform, so where we can create our customers details, where we can store our customers details. So which is called where you can build the application for the sales team. Now coming to the service means, now you have purchased the Dell laptop and you have used for the 1 year or 2 years. So now after n number of years after you used, so now some problems, issues are coming up within your laptop. So whenever there is some problem or issues, what you will do? So now in this case, you will approach to the service department. Okay, so now you will inform about your problem. So once you are informed, the service department, they will provide you the ticket number. I can say ticket number or the case number or the problem number, whatever it is. So based on ticket number or the case number, so you have to follow up with the service department, and accordingly they will resolve the issue. So here what does it mean? So now here comes the service team. Service team will be getting the problems, issues, concerns, questions, doubts, anything from the customers, and once they get it from the customers, the service department have to accordingly close the tickets or cases of the problems raised by the customers, and which will again all these issues, problems, cases, tickets, everything we can track under the salesforce.com, which is called for the creating an application for the sales service. Any questions?
No, we are good.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Okay. So this is what your Salesforce is. Now jumping on to the next service, which is called a platform as a service. So as the name says, so here the platform as a service means so where the companies will deliver you one of the platform to the customers. And what can we do with these platforms? So we can utilize these platforms and we can design, we can develop, we can deploy, and we can host our websites. So my requirement is I want to build a nice website to my company. But to build a website, first of all, I need a some domain. I need a space. I need my own servers to run my website. To maintain all these things, it is a little bit expensive for the normal employees or normal companies to maintain all these things. So that is why we'll approach to the some of the companies where they will provide the domains at pay per use, where they'll provide some space at pay per use, and where we can host our websites onto their servers again pay per use. So let's take an example. I'll take an example. What is it? GoDaddy.com. So what is a GoDaddy.com? So it is one of the website. So where we can purchase the domains. So now my website name should be www.something.co.in. So this is the domain which I want to purchase. So whenever you want to purchase, so based on the domains, the GoDaddy is one of the platforms. So where they will actually, uh, there they will ask you, charge you based on the monthly or yearly or quarterly. So we have to pay to this website, to this company, and here they are providing you one platform. They are providing one platform where we can host our website onto their servers, or where here they are providing you to purchase the domains. So this is called your platform as a service. So in simple, I'll say the software as a service is nothing but the front end, or I can say UI. Okay, any software as a service is a front end or a UI. The platform as a service is nothing but your back end. Back end. For each and every front end in the real time, there will be a back end. So let's take an example of Facebook. So within a Facebook, you'll upload pictures, you'll upload videos, you'll add friends, you will do comments, you'll post something, you will do a lot many things. But do you know? So whenever you post something, a pic or a video or anything, do you know in which database your data is getting stored? Have you ever seen the Facebook database? Have you ever know in which language the Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or anything it has been designed, in which programming language? We don't know. So as we the customers, as we the clients and users, we always focus on the front end, whether the front end is user friendly or not. So whether the front end is having the good performance or not, like this. We never worried about the backend. We never worried in which programming language, like LinkedIn, Twitter, WhatsApp, all these things they have designed it. But whenever you post anything, whenever you do anything, all these applications, any data will be getting stored in the back end, which is called a platform. Okay, for each and every front end there will be a back end. For each and every software there will be a platform. Like the same way, the Salesforce.com also has its own platform. Salesforce has its own platform called Force.com. So Force.com is the official platform for your Salesforce.com, which is application and service. So now here we have discussed within the Salesforce.com, you will build the application for the sales team, services team, custom applications, and everything. So when you create an application, which means when you create the customer's data, so where the customer's data is getting stored, that is getting stored in a platform called Force.com. Okay. So now I'll show you one logical diagram. Let me maximize. Okay. So this is called your MVC, Model View Controller architecture of your SFDC. SFDC means Salesforce.com. Salesforce.com. So on the right hand side where you can see the software as a service, which is called Salesforce. On the left hand side where you can see the platform as a service, which is called Force.com. On the right hand side the Salesforce, which is sorry. So on the right hand side where you can see the Salesforce, which is a software as a service, like we discussed in the software as a service, which is the Salesforce, you will build the applications, sales, marketing, call center, partners, or if you want to design any customer, anything. All these applications they reside on the platform. They hosted on the platform called Force.com. And on the left hand side, which is a Force.com platform as a service, again it gives you the multiple services. It acts like a database, it acts like integration. So this is a place where you do the integration. It acts like a development. So this is a place where you do the development. Okay. So it acts like a user interface. This is a place where you do the security of your data and lots of things. Any doubts? Any questions? No? So
No.
now, so now the Salesforce, whatever we are going to learn on the Salesforce entire course, the Salesforce entire course is a combination of your software as a service, which is a Salesforce, and the platform as a service, which is a Force.com. So the entire course is deals with these two services. Okay. So now the last type of service within we have in the cloud computing. So this is just for a reference. Okay, this is just for reference. This does not deals with your Salesforce. So as it is one of the service, so we'll understand what is this service is, which is called hardware or infrastructure as a service. So let's take an example directly here. So now the moment you register to the Google, you will be also getting an access to the Google applications. Like one of the application is Google Drive. So we have the Google Drive, we have the Dropbox, we have something called OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive. So what are all these things? So this is a location. So this is a storage place where you can upload all your documents, files, attachments, movies, songs, anything onto the cloud. So whenever if you want, you can upload it onto the cloud, and whenever you want, you can download it back to your device. So here, which means, so now here you are a customer where you are utilizing, where you are using the company's infrastructure, where you are utilizing the company's infrastructure. The moment you register to the Google, so the Google is providing you some 10 GB or 15 GB of free space within the Google Drive. So until you reach the 15 GB, you can upload as many attachments or files onto the cloud. So which means, so here Google is one of the company where they are providing the Google's hardware. They are providing you some space. The space is nothing but it's hardware, where the Google is providing the company's hardware or company's infrastructure to the customers. Okay. So this is all about your cloud computing. Okay. So before we actually understand, before we actually see the Salesforce, we must have to understand cloud computing and the types of the cloud computing, types of services in cloud computing. Now, so now we need to understand what is a Salesforce, what is a CRM, what is a Salesforce CRM. Salesforce CRM. So before we see the Salesforce, first of all, we'll understand what is the CRM means. CRM means customer relationship relationship management. Customer relationship management. To understand the customer relationship management, I'll take the same example what we had discussed earlier. Okay, so what is this example? So let's suppose I'm sales executive, I'm working in Dell company. So now you need the Dell products. So now you approach the sales center, you have purchased the products. So when you have purchased the product, so it's my responsibility to store, to create the customer's details. So when I say to create the customer's details, I need a platform. I need a platform so where I can create the customer's details. And that platform is nothing but a CRM, customer relationship management platform. It's not only the creating your customers, it is also the communicating with your customers. So once you have a customer in place, once your customer has purchased your company's product, that is not the final step. That is the first step in the customer process. So once you get a customer in place, so then you may have to interact with the customers in a frequency of time. You may have to interact with the customers maybe once in a while. So now let's suppose now you have approached to some car center, you have purchased a new car. So once you have purchased a new car, so now you are officially customer to the car company. So now the service department, what they will do, so they will give you a call back. Sir, you have purchased a new car, so how is the performance? Well, can we have a feedback? So is the car is okay or not? So here what they are doing, they are communicating with their customers. To communicate with the customers, they should have placed the customer's details. It could be email ID or address or phone number or mobile number or anything. Okay, so CRM is a place where we can create the customer's details, not only creating but also communicating, interacting with the customers, and also solving the customers' issues, solving the customers' problems. So all these things together is nothing but CRM. So when you talk about a CRM, customer relationship management, in the market, there are so many types of CRMs. There are so many types of CRMs. So we have something called Siebel CRM. We have SAP CRM. Under Microsoft company, we have something called Microsoft uh, Dynamics CRM. We have something called Bitrix 24.com CRM. We have Sugar CRM, Zoho CRM, and also we have Salesforce.com CRM. So these are all the CRMs only. The main motto of all the CRMs is create your customer details, interact with the customers, and solve your customer solutions, solve your customers' problems. But compared with all these CRMs, now I would say currently the Salesforce CRM is the best ever CRM in the compared with all other CRMs. Salesforce CRM is the best ever CRM which is currently available in the market. Okay, why? So why? We'll see it now. Before we see why, let's see a little background of the company Salesforce. Company Salesforce. So Salesforce.com is one of the company name which was launched in the year 1999 by the person named Mark Benoif. By the person named Mark Benoif. So it is headquarters in San Francisco. I don't know the spelling of San Francisco. Sorry. It was headquartered in San Francisco. So this Mark Benoif person, he was actually the chief executive to the company Oracle until the year 1998. So in the year 1998, he resigned to the company Oracle. So with his friends, colleagues, and other members, he launched a new company called Salesforce.com company. And the Salesforce.com company, it has its own application, and application name is also a Salesforce.com. Okay, Salesforce.com. So Salesforce.com is a company name, and also it's an application name. Okay. So now, so going back to the Salesforce CRM, so it is a multi-tenant automatic upgrade subscription, no large setup fee, fixed price, and predictable. So what are all these points now we'll discuss. Salesforce.com is a multi-tenant architecture. And if you go for any of the Salesforce interviews, first thing within the first 5 questions, they will ask you what is a Salesforce multi-tenant. What is a multi-tenant? How would you say the Salesforce is a multi-tenant architecture like this? So I have been into the interview panel from almost close to 6 to 7 years. So I'm not saying that whatever the questions that we discuss, you will be getting the same questions in your interview. So, but whatever the question that we discuss here, you may get the similar questions or the same questions in your interview. But definitely, at least 70 to 80% of the questions you'll definitely get it. And wherever we come across with these kind of interview questions or certification questions or important concepts, I will stress more on those concepts. Okay, like this one. What is a multi-tenant? Any questions so far? Any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay. So whatever the logical diagram that you're seeing for the cloud computing, so this is called, I can say, this is a multi-tenant. So what is a multi-tenant? So here you can see a cloud. So within a cloud, there are different types of services, application, platform, and infrastructure. So the companies can host their service, application, or a platform or infrastructure onto the cloud. And outside the cloud, there are some millions of billions of customers who can access these services from phones or laptops or servers or desktops or tablets, tabs, or I can say desktops or anything. So which means any application or I can say any platform or any infrastructure that is hosted onto the cloud, which means it is a cloud, public cloud. Let's take an example of a Gmail. So if it is a Gmail application, anyone can register to the Gmail application and anyone can get access to the Gmail application. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any of these applications, anyone can register and anyone can get an access to these applications. There is no any restriction in the geolocation or in the users they are accessing. There is no any restriction in accessing these applications. So which means these applications is a multi-tenant. Multi-tenant means where multiple resources outside the cloud we can say multiple resources. Where multiple resources they can share the common service. What is the common service? It could be application or a platform or infrastructure. So where the multiple resources can share the common service, which is called a multi-tenant. Like how the Gmail, Twitter, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, where the multiple resources can access it. Salesforce.com. Salesforce.com is also a multi-tenant, which means the Salesforce.com is on the public cloud. So public cloud means anybody can register and anyone can get an access to the Salesforce.com. So when I say anyone can register to the Salesforce.com, so how can I get access to the Salesforce.com? To get an access to the Salesforce.com, do I need any additional software? Do I need any additional software to install and to work on from a local machine? I would say a big no. Because since the time that we have started a demo, so I have been telling you Salesforce is on cloud. Salesforce is on cloud. Salesforce is on the public cloud. So when it is on the cloud, We no need to have a software. You just need a device, your mobile or a tab or desktop or anything, with an internet connection. If you have these two things, go to your browser and type login.salesforce.com. So once you type the login.salesforce.com, so where you can log in with your credentials, and once you log in, and you can start working on the Salesforce. How to get an access to this Salesforce? So that we'll see in our very first class. We'll get an access to the Salesforce. Okay. Now the next part is, so now let's suppose I have registered to the Salesforce and I have started using the Salesforce. So once you log into the Salesforce, the first thing that we need to understand is the Salesforce has 3 releases in a year. I can say 3 releases, or 3 times the Salesforce upgrades, or 3 versions in a year. So to understand this, let's suppose you have downloaded a YouTube application. So once you have downloaded YouTube application, once in a while you will get a notification saying that a latest version is available. A latest release, a latest version is available for your YouTube app. So you have to go to the store, Google Play Store or iOS Store, where you have to manually have to upgrade the application. So why you have to upgrade the application? Because in the latest version, in the latest upgrade or in the latest release of the application, they might introduce, they might have introduced the latest features, right? Like the same way, Salesforce also releases has 3 releases or upgrades or versions in a year. So those releases names are spring, winter, and summer. So they have taken the season names and they equipped it to their release names. So these are called the releases names. So as this is 2019 year, 2019 year. So here in this year we have spring 19, winter 19, and summer 19. So each and every release will be for 4 months, approximately 4 months. 4, 4, 4, totally 12 months, 1 year completed, and again next year. Next year it will be spring 20, winter 20, summer 20. Last year it was spring 18, winter 18, summer 18. So every time the Salesforce upgrades, they will come up with a new features. They'll come up with a new features. So we just have to go to the new features, what all the new features they have introduced or modified or introduced. So accordingly, we have to work on it. So that is why the Salesforce is still stable. Salesforce is keep on upgrading once in 4 months, thrice in a year. So every time once in a 4 months they are coming up with a new features. It could be performance or user interface, or I can say any other new features they are introducing, or it could be anything. Okay, so every time they come up with a new features, they will also release the they will also release the release document. So you have to go to the release document and you have to understand what are the new features they have introduced in the current one. Okay. Now let's suppose today I have registered to the Salesforce, and let's suppose today I have got Spring 19, for example. After 4 months, automatically your application will get upgraded to Winter 19, and after that 4 months, automatically your application will get upgraded to Summer 19, which is called automatic upgrades. So there is no need of any manual upgradation required. Automatically your application only will upgrade to the latest version once in every 4 months. Any questions so far?
No, yeah, I'm good.
Okay, Pradeep. Yeah.
Banu, you're good?
Yeah, yeah, okay, Pradeep. Yes.
Okay, great. So the next concept is, now let's suppose you are a Salesforce business analyst or a technical architect. So now you have got a new project from the client where you have to start the project from the scratch. So wherever you have to start a project from the scratch, and if you are a business analyst or technical architect, there are some few parameters where you have to keep it in your mind. Okay, so those parameters means, so before we understand the parameters, let's go to the browser and I will open the site called Netflix. So you all might be aware of Netflix. So Netflix is where we can watch shows, movies, or anything. Okay. So whenever I join it for a free of cost, where you can see the plans. Now the Netflix has different plans. Okay, so basic plan, standard, and premium plan. Based on the plans, the Netflix charges you. So where you have to pay from 500 rupees to 800 rupees from the basic to the premium plan. And different plans has different features. And if you go with, for example, Ultra HD, where the basic does not have the premium, it has. Where the basic has, where you can see only one screen, but the premium has four screens. So I'll tell you why we are seeing this example. So now let's suppose I am the customer for the Netflix. Now my personal requirement is I need Ultra HD, and there are four members in my family, so I want to enable the four screens at a time. So based on my requirement, which plan I should go for? I should go for the premium plan because basic and standard does not meet my requirements. I repeat, based on my requirements, basic and standard does not meet my requirements, right? Let's apply the same example to the Salesforce. So whenever you are a business analyst or technical architect, and if you are starting a project, there are some few parameters which you have to keep it in your mind based on the requirements document which you get it. So first you will get the requirements document from your client. So based on requirements document, you have to analyze the requirements document, and from the analysis you have to come up with a few parameters. Those parameters are, you have to understood how many number of businesses you are implementing from the requirements, how many number of users you may have to create, not exactly but approximately, how many number of applications you may have to create, how many number of objects you may have to create, how many number of fields you have to create, how much of storage is required, is it 5 GB or 10 GB or 1 terabyte or 10 terabyte, how much storage is required. Okay, and how many number of users you are implementing. So based on these parameters, you have to choose one of the edition in Salesforce. So coming back to this example, based on my requirement, like how I am choosing one of the plan, basic or standard or premium. In the Salesforce also, based on the requirements, we have to choose one of the edition. In the Netflix, we call it as a plans. In the Salesforce, we call it as a editions. And those editions names are professional, which is a very basic one, starting with enterprise, and unlimited. So as a professional is a very basic one. So where I'll take an example, this is an example but not actual figures. If you go for a professional where you may have to create only 10 businesses, or only where you can create 500 users, only 20 applications, only 50 objects, not more than that. Okay, and where you can store up to only 2 GB of data. So now my requirement is I want to store more than 2 GB. I want to create more than 10 business, more than 500 business, more than 20. In this case, definitely the professional does not meet my requirements because my requirement is huge than what professional is providing. So in this case, I have to go for the next one, which is called enterprise. So enterprise is a bigger to professional but smaller to unlimited. And if you go for unlimited edition, this is completely where you will get unlimited components. So like how these plans, they are not free of cost, where you have to pay to the Netflix on monthly basis. Like the Salesforce editions also, they are not free of cost, where you have to pay on a monthly basis. The professional it costs around approximate price $175 per single user per single month. Unlimited it costs around approximate price again $225 per single user per single month. And unlimited it costs around $275 per single user and per single month. Okay. So now, in my current project, in my current application, we have 1600 plus users. For these 1600 plus users, we had opted for unlimited edition. So 1600 into, we are almost paying $275 for each user. So 1600 users into $275 equals to, let's suppose, some X dollars. So these X number of dollars we are paying to the Salesforce on a monthly basis to maintain our users, to maintain our users' data, to maintain our customers' data, and to run our business application. So, but today we are here to learn Salesforce. Just for learning purpose and just for the additions of the license purpose, I'm not ready to pay $200 or $300 just for license purpose. That is why, for the beginners like us, Salesforce is providing you one of the edition called Developer Edition, which is completely free of cost. Okay, so the Developer Edition is completely free of cost. On our day one, so we are going to register to the Developer Edition, which is completely free of cost, and we are going to start our application. Okay, so coming to the real time, so for each and every project you will be having your own account manager. So your account manager will extract the number of users who are accessing the application based on a monthly basis or quarterly basis or yearly basis, and accordingly the your account manager will pay to the Salesforce, and we don't need to worry about this financial information. And this is all about your subscription, where you have to subscribe to the Salesforce. No lot setup fee, no need to download any softwares, and these editions are fixed price and practical cost. Any questions? Any questions?
No, I'm good.
Banu, I hope you are good too.
Yeah, okay, Pradeep.
And the next part is like any other technology, Salesforce is also categorized into two things. One is administration and one is development. Development. So within the Salesforce administration, okay, so the prerequisite to learn the Salesforce administration is nothing, I can say. This is a very big advantage of the Salesforce admin. So we no need to have any prerequisite knowledge on anything to learn Salesforce admin part. So here, whatever you learn, everything will be a point and click and drag and drop, point and click and drag and drop. Even in the real time, also 90 to 95% of your projects will be completed by the Salesforce admin part. That is the power of the Salesforce admin tool, which you can find in our real time practical sessions. So within the Salesforce admin part, you will learn so many things. So where we'll see the concept called what is a standard, what is a custom, what is an application, what is an object, what is a field, how to create relationships. Okay, what is a data loader, what is the profiles, what is the roles. Okay, so what is the automation business process called workflow rules, what is validation rules, what is approval processes, okay, what is the sharing settings, and etc etc. The list is very big, and this is all few things which you will learn in that means part. So these are just few things I'm not repeating. But whatever you learn the self for the admin part, everything is a drag and drop, point and click, drag and drop on point. But coming to the Salesforce development part. So here comes your the answer for your question, Banu. Salesforce development part. So within the Salesforce development part, the Salesforce has introduced two programming languages. One is called Apex and one is Visual Force, Apex and Visual Force. Okay, so Apex. So Apex means, so whenever you get any requirement, and if the requirement is something which you cannot be done to the admin part, which cannot be done to the admin part, then only you will jump onto the Apex coding. So Apex is similar like your Java programming language. So here I would say the prerequisite to understand Apex or prerequisite to learn Apex is Java. So even if you are not aware of the Java, no worries, because whatever the students that I have trained earlier in all my previous batches, most of all the students, they are not aware of the Java. So even if you are aware of the Java or if you are not aware of the Java, so whenever we start with Apex, we will start from the basics of the programming. We will start from the very basics of the program. So what is a class? What is a method? What is a variable? So what is the loops? What is the if else statements? What are different types of the loops? What is the data types? All these things will start. Starting from the very small programs to the medium complex programs to the most complex programs. Okay, that is what something you will learn in the Apex programming. So Apex is similar like your Java like syntax. The next one is Visual Force. Visual Force. So Visual Force means whenever you register to the Salesforce, Salesforce will provide you some standard default look and feel. Standard look and feel. So now if the requirement is I want to change the look and feel of the pages. I want to change the look and feel of the user interface. I want to completely change the performance of the look and feel of the web pages, which can be done by means of the Visual Force. So within the Visual Force, you will design, you will build the web pages, which can be done by means of your HTML. So the prerequisite to understand the Visual Force is HTML. Not only HTML, so any markup or scripting languages. So HTML or CSS or JavaScript or jQuery, anything. So if you are aware of any of these languages, so then you will understand Visual Force easily. And again, even if you are not aware of any of these scripting languages, so whenever we start with Visual Force, we will start from the scratch. Okay, this is something. Next part. The next one is industry recognition. So these are all the different industry recognitions which the Salesforce has got. And the last but not the least, so this is the end of the demo. But before we close off the today's demo part, there are a few more things which we have to discuss, which is called duration of the course and some of the benefits, or I can say the features which you will get it from my side personally. So duration to learn your Salesforce admin part plus Salesforce development part, which will be approximately from between 40 to 45 days. So if you take 1 hour per day, 1 hour per day, it will be 40 to 45 hours. 1 hour per day, 40 to 45 hours. Okay. And this is not a strict like 40 to 45 days we should have to complete the batch. It is depends on how much you grasp. It is not only I have been explaining the classes and we are done with the class and to not like that. So whenever we are explaining, whenever I'm explaining, whenever you are listening, I also want a progress from your side. So I will be keep on following with you, like how much you're grasping, how much you're understanding, how much you're doing the assignments part, how much you're doing the practical session from your side, everything. So based on how much you're grasping, based on the how much you're getting, so this duration it will be plus or minus few days. Okay. And coming to the benefits, so there are some few benefits which we can discuss. The first one is the recording sessions which you will be getting from the consultancy side. Recording sessions. So each and every session will be recorded, and once the class is completed, so the recording session will be directly sent to your email ID. The reason why we are providing the recording session in the sense, so even in the future, if you get any doubts or questions or anything that you want to get clarified, So you can directly go back to your previous recording sessions and you can get your question get clarified. Okay, and this recording session will be the voice and video sessions. And next part is the interview questions. So once we are done with the course, so I will be providing the interview questions. Okay, so where it is completely a set of admin part, development part, and everything. So if you follow all these documents which I'll provide in the interview questions, you could able to clear any interview. Okay. The next part is assignments. So I'll be providing you assignments once in a while. So once in a while in the sense I at least once in a week or a 10 days. So what are the concepts that we had completed in 1 week or 10 days? 1 week or 10 days that will I'll provide you assignments and accordingly that you can work on it and you can show it to me. And once we are completed with the entire course, I will be providing you some sample projects, only sample projects. Okay. So those sample projects you can take it as a challenge and you can work on it. Okay, so that these sample projects and you can take it as a challenge and you can finish it up. The next part is the dumps. Salesforce certification. So where if you are planning to take a certification in the Salesforce, which I'll definitely guide you. So you can take it in admin part or the development part or both also. So whatever the certification that you're planning to take, I'll have some certain set of dumps which I can forward it to you. I'm not telling you to that you will be directly getting the questions, certification questions from the dumps itself. So, but if you follow the dumps, you might get the similar questions. Or if you follow the dumps, you will get at least 60% of the questions same from the dumps. If you follow all our sessions, if you follow all the dumps, then you will definitely be able to clear development or admin certifications. And what are the certification cost, where you can take the certification, what type of questions we'll be getting, what is the pass percentage, how much does it cost, all these things that we'll see in our future classes. Okay, and also I'll help you in the resumes preparation if you would like. So I'll be sending you some sample resumes, so where you can follow that and you can prepare a resume for yourself. And the next part is finally the mock interview, so which means a completely on optional for you. So once you have completed your certification, projects, resumes, and before you go for any interview, real-time interview, and you can just ping me anytime. So if I'm available, so then I'll take a mock interview for you, which will be like a real-time interview. And if you are confident enough, and if you could able to answer the questions which I'm going to ask you, you could able to clear any of the interview. So this is all about my today's demo part, and only for the demo part I have prepared the slides, but from the day one onwards everything will be the practical sessions. From the day one onwards I'm going to register to the Salesforce and we are going to see everything practically. First we'll understand theoretical concepts, then we'll see the practical concepts. Any questions? Swati, Banu, anything that you have on your mind?
No, Pradeep, I'm good.
No questions? I
Regular
hope.
class the same. Like,
So the regular classes will start from tomorrow, so which will be 10:30 p.m. India time. So now it is
okay.
10 p.m. So it will start from 10:30 p.m. India time. Okay. So the regular classes will start from tomorrow. The same GoToMeeting link, and it starts from 10:30 p.m. IST. So you can convert according to your time zones. And if you had liked the demo part, and if you would like to understand more and more the Salesforce, and if you would like to get the guidance on the Salesforce from my side, and you can join the same GoToMeeting link tomorrow 10:30 p.m. IST.
1 hour, right, Pradeep? Daily?
Yes, Banu. So class will be for 1 hour, 10:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. India time.
Oh, 10:30 p.m. Okay. No problem.
And
Um,
sorry, does it work
10:30
for you?
p.m. India time. No, not possible for me.
How about you, Swati?
Because
Having.
Wednesday, Friday, and Monday. My daughter is going to school, and I need to fetch her from 12 o'clock from the school. 12 o'clock means it's 10:30.
Okay. How about you, Swati? So if you like the demo, so would you like to continue, or you need some time to think about it?
Just give me. I'll inform Prakash. Give
Okay,
me.
Swati, yeah, not a problem, not a
Why
problem.
9 o'clock is not suitable for you? India time?
No, actually 8:30 to 9:30, so maybe sometimes I'll be having some client calls, so I'm not pretty sure. Even if I say if I works now, so some or other day, most of all the days in a week, I'll be having a client calls,
At
8:30
least
or 9.
9:30, like
9:30 or 10 should be fine. That is what bonus. So based on your feasibility and your time, whatever the times works for you,
that.
please drop an email to Prakash. And
Otherwise, actually, you can start at 11 o'clock. Then it's fine. No issue. Half an hour late. So
yes, Banu. So this is for Banu and Swati. So if you like the demo part and if you would like to continue for the classes, so just drop an email to Prakash with feasible timings and available timings as per your time zones and convenient. And accordingly, we'll start a batch from tomorrow.
okay, Pradeep. Yeah,
Okay, great.
yeah.
Thanks, Banu. Thanks, Swati, for your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, and hopefully we'll join back tomorrow.
Yes.
Thanks. Bye.
Practical.
Ini kalau mau kasih